Alright guys, this is Sachin again. Now for the next lesson, let's learn how to solve operations in the right order. To start this lesson off, let's start with an example. You may think that this problem is pretty tricky, right? It's also kind of confusing. You don't know where to really start because you could either do multiplication or subtraction first. And you may think that doing it in either of these two methods would get you the same answer, but in reality it does not. For example, if you do multiplication first, you get 15 minus 6, which is 9, right? But if you do subtraction first, you get 5 times negative 3, which is negative 15. See, these are completely different answers. To solve a question like this, there is a method to do so. To do this, we can use Pemdas. Pemdas stands for parentheses. This is what the P stands for. The E stands for exponents. M stands for multiplication. The D stands for division. The A stands for addition. And the S stands for subtraction. So, to be a little bit more complex with Pemdas, in reality, when you're looking at doing with a problem, right, there's specific steps for Pemdas. You can't just do it in any order. There's a specific order. So, to solve a problem like the one that we had just done before, 5 times 3 minus 6, you'd have to start with any sort of parentheses. So this is first. So parentheses, or so like brackets, braces, or fraction bars. The second step is to use exponents. The third step and the fourth step are kind of similar to one another. However, for the third step and the fourth step, you would have to do multiplication from left to right. Okay, this is very important because in Pemdas, if you go from right to left, you get a completely different answer. And it's the same for division. You have to go from left to right. Okay? In addition and subtraction, you must do addition first and then subtraction. So it's the same thing as multiplication division. You also go from left to right in addition, and from subtraction, you go from left to right. So in order, it is parentheses, any sort of parentheses, exponents, multiplication from left to right, division from left to right, addition from left to right, and subtraction from left to right. And to reiterate again, when you do multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction, you must make sure that you go from left to right. Okay? So now let's try the first example, this, using the Pemdas method that we just learned. So let me write it here. 5 times 3 minus 6. According to Pemdas, it says that multiplication is before subtraction, which means that we're supposed to do multiplication first. So This clears that complexity we had before, right? Because we weren't sure before that we would have to do multiplication or subtraction first. But Pemdas gives us that answer. So we have to do this first, multiplication. So it's 15 minus 6, so the real answer is 9. Now let's try a more complicated example. Okay? Alright. So, in order to do this, we can look back at Pemdas. And what do we see? Okay, we see 2 parentheses here. So, we can go back here to Pemdas. As we can see here, parentheses is number 1. So, we can do that first. So, we can get this thing first and then this thing. Okay, so it's 5 and negative 1. Okay, now, as you can see here, that there is a multiplication going on, right? Because it's 5 times whatever inside this parentheses. So what means that, and also, there is also an addition, okay? But according to Pemdas, as you can see here, multiplication is before addition, which means that we have to multiply 5 times whatever is in the parentheses first before we can add. So let's do that. 5 times 5. Okay, so we have to do 25. So this will take care of that. And then we can finally do the addition. 25 plus minus 1, which is basically just 25 minus 1. So that's 24. So in reality, it's actually not that hard. You just need to literally just do this step, Pemdas. Okay? So, alright guys, so here is how to use Pemdas to solve equations in the right order.